All righty. Good morning, Ropians. I hope you're all having a fantastic Monday morning, and welcome to our guest presentation for this week. Good morning, Suzanne. How are you?
Good morning. This is very exciting, Suzi.
It's very exciting, isn't it?
Been watching your group for a number of years now, and this is the first time I've got involved. So thank you.
No, I'm so pleased to have you here, and thank you for taking the time to come and have a chat with us this morning. Now, guys, for those of you who are watching live, great. If you have any questions, please make sure you put them in the comments, because I'll be watching you. I'll be watching you all live. So I'll just keep an eye out for any comments that you may have or questions that you may have for Suzanne. But also remember, so I'll just turn this down. Also remember that if you did want to jump in and join us live, join us in the Zoom room, the link is in the other post I did. Hang on, let me just put the link into this live here. So and guys, seriously, come and join us in the Zoom room, and you may have a few questions for Suzanne, which would be awesome. So I'll just quickly put this in, and then we shall get rolling. I don't know about you, but I've found lately that when I put in a comment on a post in Facebook, it kicks down the page. It's very, very annoying. All right, so guys, if you want to join us in the Zoom room live and come and have a bit of a chat to Suzanne, then please do so. If you're watching this as a replay, please make sure you put #replay in the comments, and Suzanne will stay with us in the 5 Foot Rope Business Academy for a couple of weeks. So if you have any questions and you're watching as a replay, please make sure that you pop them in the comments and just tag Suzanne in those comments, because she'll be able to connect with you and answer any questions that you have.
Yes,
so
please.
Suzanne, today Suzanne's going to be talking to us about the 5 pillars of mind, body and nutrition, and this is something that I love. So Suzanne, your business is SA Weight Loss Hypnosis, but you're also known as the weight loss coach, aren't you?
I am. That's right. Yes, yes. That's
and
what
how
I do.
long have you been doing hypnotherapy, and how long have you sort of been specializing in weight loss?
Yeah, so I guess for the last 4 years now. And prior to that, I was a personal trainer. So I've been in this health and wellness industry for many, many years.
Lovely.
And I'll say a bit more, I'll tell you a little bit more about that during the presentation.
Yeah.
But yes, over the years, I've, upskilled into, I'm also an eating psychology coach, as well as a hypnotherapist and a master NLP practitioner. So it's all about the mind.
It honestly, and I can absolutely attest to that. It definitely is. Since September last year, I've actually dropped about 40 odd kilo, and and I was in not a good place, and it puts you in that really, you don't want to leave the house, you don't want to see anyone, you don't want to do anything.
Very debilitating.
Hurts. They said to me I had this fibromyalgia. I was in pain all the time, and your brain is foggy, and when I went through this process, this journey, I guess, whatever you want to call it, I can get up now, and I'm 40 kilo lighter to start with, so that obviously helps boost your confidence, but I'm not in pain anymore. I can think clearly. I have more energy. I have a completely different mindset to what I had before, and it is absolutely to do with what's going on in your head. So I'm really, really looking forward to what you're going to be sharing with us today. So, Suzanne, so as I said, Suzanne's business name is SA Weight Loss Hypnosis. So please make sure that you go and check Suzanne out. We'll put the links for those in the comments, guys. So if you want to go and connect with Suzanne, please do that. But as I said, Suzanne's also known as the weight loss coach, which I love because it says exactly what you do. So I love that. So the 5 pillars of mind, body, and nutrition. So Suzanne, I'll let you share your presentation, and I look forward to seeing what you have to share with us.
Good. Okay, let's kick it off. Here we go. All right, so hopefully that is all fully on screen now. Great. All righty. So as a weight loss coach, I'm all about resetting your mind and your body. And over the years, and since I started as a personal trainer, I've learned a whole heap about the body. I've learned a whole heap about the mind, and I've came up with these 5 pillars of mind-body nutrition because these are the things that I found made the biggest difference. And they are truly the secret to learning to lose weight without dieting, because we know that dieting doesn't work. It actually puts your body into a stress response, and your body, when it's dieting, is actually thinking, oh no, I'm not getting enough food because we're restricting stuff, food and calories and all those things, and it just wants to hang on to weight as an automatic survival response, and that's not what we want. So what I'm all about is creating a community. So I have my own private group. I run a goals club. It's called the Weight Loss Goals Club, and we get together once a month over 5 months, and we pretty much cover all these things. So we take a real deep dive into it. But, you know, I found that many women felt very isolated and alone. And so this is all about creating a community for people that are feeling the same stuff, so they don't feel isolated. They don't feel, oh my goodness, it's only me. No one understands. So, you know, we want to be able to support, nurture, inspire, and set goals. Like, this is really important to, you know, if you want to, a goal without a plan is just a wish. And we're not going to get to where we want to go unless we actually set something strategic. But that requires a bit of knowledge. And that's what I'm here to do, to help my clients as an eating psychology coach, to really talk about the psychobiology, which is all about the mind and the biology of the brain, and how these two, I'm pointing to my stomach here, how these two work together, because it's totally integral to results, whether they get them or they don't. Because ultimately, women want to be the best versions of themselves. And, you know, if you're coming from a space of not being happy and beginning to isolate yourself and, you know, not living your best life, well, obviously that's where we don't want to be. So, you know, I want to encourage women to live their best life. Yeah. Okay. So let me talk about me first. That's me, my why. Why am I doing this? So as I mentioned, I have been a personal trainer in a past life, but even before then, I had breast cancer. And that was probably, well, it was totally the catalyst for change for me and putting myself on my own healing journey. So after going through, you know, the rigors of radiotherapy, the last day walking out of that radiotherapy room was really in my head. And I still remember it to this day. And that was back in 2013. That in my mind, these words were coming to me saying, give back, you have to give back, you have to give back, you have to give back. And at that point, I had no idea. I was just working in an office. I was stressed. I worked too many hours. I didn't see my kids enough. And, you know, my lifestyle wasn't that wonderful. You know, I was a bit of a party girl and just fell asleep on the couch at night. Yep. And kids would be, Mum, go to bed, go to bed. You know, I wasn't really in a good space. And I wasn't looking after my health pretty much. So I, you know, discovered I had cancer. And I think that was probably the biggest shock to me, that my health could be taken away from me just like that. Had no idea. And so when I discovered that I was taking my health for granted, that's when I thought, right, I need to make some changes here. What can I do? And my oncologist at the time said to me, the best thing that you can do, Suzanne, is to stay fit and healthy. Now, if you know me or not, I'm a very literal person. You tell me to do something and I'll go and do it. And so that's what I did. I thought, well, how can I be fit and healthy? And so I thought, oh, I could be a personal trainer. So that's what I did. So I started off as a gym rat and, you know, working in gyms, and then I took it, you know, one step further. But that's why health is one of my highest values, and our values are so important to us because they are the things that motivate us. They are the things that help us do what we want to do and drive change within us. And so health was my highest value. So I thought, well, being a personal trainer was a way to give back to women, to help them be the healthiest versions of themselves and to help them live their best life. So that's where it all started. And from there, I upskilled and life changed a bit. So I became a Reiki master, and I was learning more about, you know, the esoterical metaphysical world. I then learnt to, and I love that so much, I became a Reiki master and teacher. I moved into incorporated meditation, and I love that so much. I started teaching meditation. So I was moving forwards, and eventually discovered hypnosis. Incredible that was, how the mind was just so powerful. And I think I had an inkling in that as a meditation teacher. And all of a sudden it clicked to me that, wow, there's a missing link here, you know, when it comes to women and their health and being overweight. Because as a trainer, you know, I worked with a lot of women who just said, Suzanne, help, I need some help, you know, with this, what's going on down here. And, you know, that when they were working with me, they were fit and healthy and they lost weight. You know, I had pictures of women with their 2 10-kilo medicine balls underneath their arms, representing the amount of weight that they'd lost. But after a couple of months, if they left my training program and came back, they go, oh, Suzanne, I need your help again. I've put on all this weight. I don't know what's going on. So I didn't understand it way back then, but now I do. It's the mind. The mind is totally the missing link. And it doesn't matter how well you exercise, how much you exercise, how well you eat. If your mind is not on board with all of that, it's not going to make the difference that you are hoping that it's going to make. And so therefore you're constantly fighting with yourself internally, thinking, I'm doing all this, I'm doing all that, nothing's happening to my body. And, you know, you turn it and it becomes a nasty spiral. So this is where I discovered the mind is totally the missing link when it comes to weight loss. And so then I, you know, moved into the realms of hypnotherapy and master NLP, which is neurolinguistics, which is all about the language of the mind. And that's where I focus my work when I'm working with women. Hopefully that goes one. Yep. Okay. So here we are. What are the 5 pillars of mind-body nutrition? I just moved my picture around. So we start with food, and I call it eat. Because as humans, we are eaters. There is a way to eat that will satisfy the needs of the body and our metabolic function, you know, the power of our metabolism. And it's not about restricting food. It's not about, you know, it's not even about calories. There is a way to eat that will work for the body, and all of a sudden cravings disappear. And, you know, we're not looking to eat in ways that are unhelpful for us. So eating obviously is one. The mind is the next one. Learning to tap into your body is such a powerful thing. Often women are very disconnected from their body. They're not, you know, that they don't like what's going on down here. I don't like any of this. They're very much in their head. But that's not helping them to get to where they want to go from a body state. So it's very important to be able to listen to the wisdom of your body. Learning how to relax, rushing women syndrome, and I'm reading a fantastic book, and I would highly recommend anyone read this book by Dr. Libby Weaver. This book is just all about rushing women and the syndrome of it and the impact of a never-ending to-do list on your health. And stress is the biggest blocker to weight loss. And once we start managing that and understanding and, you know, tweaking things in our body and in our life, learning how to say no, for instance, you know, we can start to give us back some time. And of course, self-care. We need to look after ourselves. Many women that I speak to just put themselves on the bottom of the pile. You know, they're doing everything for everyone else, but for themselves, you know, we get last. We get to go on the end. And very often we're not looking after our own self-care. So, yeah, this is just a little bit about each of those pillars. So, you know, around eating, creating positive awareness about the importance of how and why we eat, because it is a lot about how and why, and as much as it is about what. Looking at the mind and harnessing the power of the mind to build strength and purpose, because we actually are in control of our mind. A lot of us don't think that we can control it. You know, we would say, oh, but my mind is doing this, it controls me. But no, we can actually control those thoughts. Our body, listening to your body while finding ease and joy in the comfort of your own skin. So often I hear, but I've got this body and it's not mine. I don't like it. But, you know, the fact is we do have the body that we have is the body that we've got. And sometimes we have to make peace with it and learn to love the aspects of it. until we transition into the body that, you know, we are happy with. But if you hate what you've got now, it's just creating that stress response. It's going to be very difficult to move into the body that you want. So love the person, love the skin that you're in, and it's about finding ways to do that. As I said, relaxing to restore, relax, and bring health and healing to everyday life, because we can do that when we start managing our stress levels, and creating time for daily practices and rituals to sustain a positive mindset. So, so, so important. So let's talk about eat, the first one. So I've just popped down here a couple of things that when I'm working with clients, these are probably the biggest things that we cover off. And if the number one thing, if you didn't take anything away from today other than this one, is the quality of your food. So important. The quality of our food affects our mood. And if we put processed food in our gut, we're going to get, and you know, think of it this way. When you walk into a fruit and veg shop and you see all these beautiful colors and you smell the beautiful aromas, and it just looks good, it's very uplifting. Fresh food has an energy about it. There's still life in this food when we look at it. And when we eat this food with life and energy, we're actually putting that into our body. So it's transforming, you know, it's processing within us, and good quality food is going to help our mood improve. There are chemical reactions around it. If we are eating dense processed food that's been sitting on a shelf for years, that has no life in it, and I call it dead food. If you're eating dead food, processed, feeling dense and heavy, majority of the time you will feel dense and heavy, foggy mind, bloated, like really no energy. That food has no energy. So it's so important to really look at the quality of your food. Make sure it's the best. And you don't have to go from, you know, from stodgy to organic. Take it by baby steps. Just look at the fresher option. Look at the better quality option. Look at the ingredients that are in each thing. Slowly start to transition, and you will find a whole heap of changes in, you know, the way your energy levels. So quality of food, number one. Eat 3 meals a day. Don't deprive yourself. Our body is a functioning organ. It needs to be fed. And if we don't give ourselves food, your body tries to compensate in different ways, and it actually thinks it's starving. So we're very much run by our subconscious mind, our autonomic nervous system, which does stuff without our awareness. And our brain and our body knows when it's not getting enough of the right kinds of food. So if we start to deprive ourselves and, oh, skip breakfast, oh, I haven't got time for lunch, oh, now I'm starving, you know, just hit the cupboard and eat huge meals at night and whatever's quick and easy just to fill up, your body still knows it's not getting enough of the right kind of food. So what it does, it hangs on to weight. It will hang on to weight, build fat, and not build muscle. So it's very counterproductive. So we need to eat. So feed your body. And if people don't like breakfast, I get that. At least have something at, say, 10 mid-morning. Have something before lunch, and eat your lunch, you know, between 12 and 2, because that's when our bodies burn more calories. If you're interested in calories, which I don't put a lot of attention on, calories, aka energy. Our body burns more energy between the hours of 12 and 2 when the sun's at the highest point in the sky. So our metabolism is firing then. So that's the best time to have the biggest meal of the day. Another point that I talk about is, and we all know these things. Generally, we know what to do. It's just doing the stuff. But I need to remind people sometimes gently that, yes, this stuff works. I just need to remind you to have it in the forefront of your brain, because if it's here, then you're more likely to think about that thing. If it's right at the back of your mind, other stuff comes in. So proteins, healthy carbs, which includes fruit and veg, and healthy fats in every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You'll find that you won't be so hungry. You'll start to crave sugary foods less, and you'll snack less. And you won't be, you know, binging or, you know, bulk feeding yourself at the end of the day. Proteins will always keep you full. Proteins and fats will keep the sugar cravings at bay. The next one is to eat slowly. If we eat fast, our body puts itself into an automatic stress response, fight or flight. It thinks, oh my goodness, something's wrong. There's a saber-toothed tiger. It's going to come and eat me. So I got to gobble all my food. But in actual fact, the stress response tells your gut, your digestive system, to slow down and shut down. So you might feel that your food's stuck in your chest, or you get indigestion, or it's just not going down. Your gut's going, no, we don't want any food in there. We just want to run or fight. Like, it doesn't want to digest a meal. So therefore, we're not getting what we need. When we slow down, our digestive system works better. We can process and assimilate all that food. We'll feel fuller for longer. We won't need to eat quick, fast things to keep our energy levels going. Another big thing is eating smaller portions at night. Our metabolism slows down at the end of the day. It doesn't want to digest a great big meal. It wants to rest and repair your body. A good thing, a little story is sumo wrestlers. We know that sumo wrestlers are very big people, and they have worked out how to get their bodies to that size. And they do this because they know that the metabolism slows down at night. So what do? They eat all their food at night. So they have huge amounts of food at night, and then they go to sleep. Then they wake up at midnight. They have a huge amount of food, and then they go to sleep. And then in the mornings, they do all their, training and exercise, but they just bulk up on their food when their metabolism is at its lowest. So of course, it creates a bigger body. We don't want to be on the sumo diet, do we? No. So that's just something to remember. Smaller meals at night, biggest meal at lunchtime, and have something in the morning. So you're getting enough food throughout the day. You're not overloading at the end of the day when your body's just gone, no, I don't want to do anything with this food. I'm just going to store it. Eating mindfully, of course. Notice the texture, the flavor, the taste and the aroma of your food. There's it's called the cephalic brain response, is the head phase of digestion. If your brain doesn't recognize that you've had food because you've just gobbled it all up and, moved on to the next thing, brain goes, well, no food. I don't remember having anything to eat. I need some more. So oftentimes, if you eat really fast, you can find yourself, knowing that you've had a big meal, you can find yourself back looking for more food, going, I don't know why I'm hungry, but I just want something. That's because your brain has gone, well, I don't remember having a meal. No food here. But it needs to eat. So that can happen if you're very distracted with your eating. And of course, planning. We're all so busy. We've all got, a set amount of hours in the day, 24 hours. But sometimes we have to bend some time. And generally it's on the weekend, or it might be during the week where you cook 2 meals instead of 1. But have food available for yourself to look after you rather than go for the quick fix. Now, the next one, mind. So the power of our mind. I always like to cover off on the basics first. We know all these things, but it's always a good reminder. The mind. So how interesting is this? We only use 5% of our conscious thinking mind. The other 95% of our brain activity is unconscious. It's part of the autonomic nervous system. It's the part of us that, our heart beats without us telling it to beat. We breathe without us, I've got to breathe now, got to breathe, exhale. Like, that would be exhausting. There are parts of our body that just does stuff automatically, and that's all in the subconscious mind. And because our subconscious mind holds the most real estate in our head, it has the biggest say. So even though consciously you want to make a change, most women will go, I know what I want to do, I just can't do it. And that's because there are habits and there are beliefs. There's all sorts of stuff going on in the subconscious mind, the physiology of the body, the psychobiology of what the brain is doing and the body is doing. That's all in the subconscious mind. And that will override any behavior that you want, consciously you want to do. But there's only this tiny little percent that's going, oh, I want.
Suzanne has just frozen on us there, guys. So we'll just give that a minute. Suzanne, I'm not sure if you can still hear me, but you're frozen. So we'll just take a second to, hopefully your internet will kick back in. Guys, while we're waiting for Suzanne's internet to kick back in, I have put the book that Suzanne mentioned before, the Rushing Women's Syndrome book. I've actually put the name of that book into the comments. So we've just lost Suzanne. So let me just message her. Yeah, so I've put the name of that book. It's actually by a lady called Libby Weaver, and the full name of the book is Rushing Women's Syndrome: The Impact of a Never-Ending To-Do List and How to Stay Healthy in Today's Busy World. And so it's interesting because I know what I've gone through over the last 12 months. I've really enjoying what Suzanne's sharing with us. So hopefully she'll be able to jump back in there because you know, going through a huge amount of weight loss or a very large, you know, like I was the heaviest I'd ever been in my life. And, you know, and as I said, over the last 12 months, I've dropped about 41 kilo. And it is a massive journey, and it is absolutely all in the mind, because you so quickly want to go back to those old habits. And so what Suzanne was saying about, you know, the conscious 5% and the subconscious being 95%, you have to reprogram that. And I'm a big believer in hypnotherapy. I think hypnotherapy is an absolutely wonderful medium to use. It's natural, which is, you know, as you guys that know me know, I love anything that's natural. I much prefer things that are natural. And, you know, so doing something by hypnotherapy just reprograms that, which is, you know, which is absolutely brilliant. So Suzanne's just trying to connect now. Yeah, but I thought that was really interesting. Something else that Suzanne said: a goal without a plan is just a wish. And that is so true. So what do they say? You don't plan to fail, you just fail to plan. And so even with things like weight loss, or, you know, even if you forget the weight loss part of it and go, you know what, I just want to reprogram my health, reprogram my nutrition, reprogram what I'm wanting to eat, then I think hypnotherapy is a fantastic way to do that, to incorporate it in with other tools that you may want to use. But I know that hypnotherapy has helped many members in my family in the past with all sorts of different things. So, oh, there's Suzanne now. Let me just let her back into the Zoom room. Hello, you're back. That's okay. We've just been chatting amongst ourselves. So if you want to get that presentation jump back on, I was just saying to everyone, Suzanne, I put the name of that book that you mentioned before, the Rushing Women's Syndrome. I've actually put the name and the author of that book in the comments if anyone's interested in looking at that. And I was just saying about hypnotherapy, I'm a big believer in it. It helped many members of my family with things, everything from, you know, mental health right through to, you know, stop smoking and things like that. So I think, you know, as using it as part of this toolkit is absolutely brilliant. So I shall let you continue on from where you were before.
Yeah, so sorry. So
good old modern technology.
I think I was saying that, yes, we have control over our mind. And a simple technique and tool that I teach my clients is simply to say stop. Put their hand up, say it out loud, say it in your head. It's a pattern interrupt. So if you've got a negative cycle of thoughts going, you know, sometimes we can think, oh my goodness, I've been thinking about the same thing for hours. You know, it's this nasty negative self-talk, or you're going over some sort of old thing that's happened in the past and it keeps recurring in your head. If you say stop, it interrupts the pattern of thought. But then you need to have that choice of you know, the choice to go, okay, what do I really want to think about? You don't want to think about the stuff, but go back to what is important to you right at that moment. So think, you know, if you're creating a presentation, get back into the presentation. If you're at school, if you're cooking dinner, get back into your dinner. Let go of those old thoughts. So that in that way, simply we can interrupt the pattern of thought. We have power to change that thought. So that's very simple. Stop, and I use it often, and it's very effective. So as I was mentioning, habits and behaviors all lie in the subconscious mind. As children, up until the age of 7-ish, we're little sponges. You know, we learn stuff in the womb. We learn stuff, obviously, as a little kid. We don't know anything other than what's been told to us. And some say we learn stuff from past lives and passed down to us genealogically. So all of these habits and behaviors lie in the subconscious mind. So if we want to change something, we need to start changing the subconscious. And this is where, as you say, hypnosis is very powerful. Quit smoking is incredible. I work with people to quit smoking, and we do that in one session, and they're done, gone. No more cigarettes. It's just so amazing. So another interesting fact is to know that the mind and gut are totally connected. So there is this thing called the vagus nerve, and all these messages go up and down. So when we are eating food that's not helpful, not only does it send a message to the mind that this food is not nutritious, and you're not getting all the feel-good hormones, the serotonin, all the good stuff going up to your brain, but your brain again is then not in a happy place. And when your brain's not in a happy place, it affects the digestive system. So oftentimes, we can be we could be very anxious and feel butterflies in our stomach and go off our food, and that affects your digestive system. We can have a gut feeling about stuff. We don't have an elbow feeling, we have a gut feeling. So this has been passed down in Eastern and Western ancient cultures, generations, right since time began. Our gut can tell us stuff. And in fact, there's a practice that is written about that Japanese businessmen use, traditional Japanese businessmen, if they are wanting to make a decision on some sort of business deal, they will metaphorically swallow the decision, let it sit in their gut, and decide, well, what's my gut telling me? Is it a good feeling or is it not so good feeling? And they'll base their decisions on that feeling. So this is something that we can all do. We can sit and swallow the decision metaphorically. Is this what I want to do? How does my gut feel? Does it feel all cramped up and tight? Well, don't do it. If it feels happy and relaxed, well, yeah, this is a good thing. So an amazing tool, just listening to our gut intuition. And that's how it affects our food too. So if we're in a stressed state, our digestive system begins to slow down, shut down, as I said earlier. So stress is a response and is a blocker. It's the biggest blocker to weight loss. That's the biggest thing that stops us from losing weight. And then, when we start trying everything, not getting any results, we're constantly fighting. There's this internal battle going on inside of us. I'm doing this, I'm not getting this result, I don't like this, so it's just creating the fight or flight response. Stress hormone, cortisol, insulin, they both track each other. They just tell the body to store weight, not build muscle, and hang on to fat. Absolutely what we don't want if your goal is weight loss. The power of hypnosis is absolutely incredible. Hypnosis is very safe. It's very natural. It's been practiced for, thousands and thousands of years, starting in the ancient Greek temples. They had sleep temples. And people would go to the sleep temple. The priests would talk to them in their sleep, and they'd walk out all happy as Larry, and their thing had disappeared. And it's very, very effective, as we know. Many people know of someone that has been hypnotized for quit smoking. Generally, I think that's probably the biggest. So I just want to run through a few things what hypnosis is. As I said, it's a natural state. It's very relaxing. An hour in my hypnosis chair is like 3 hours of rest, which is nice. It's a state of focus where we're actually very focused, and it's the trance state. And everyone is in trance state every time they watch TV, every time they watch a movie. They're fully focused and aware of what is going on in front of them. It's very therapeutic, it's enjoyable, and it's voluntary. I can't make you go into hypnosis. Anyone coming into my office is there because they want to be there. So therefore, I can't do anything to them that they don't want me to do. I can't make them forget their name. I can't, make them rob a bank. I can't, I can't turn them into a chicken in case that's what they were hoping. Their friends go, oh, you're going to come out being chicken. No, I can't do that. And that's a very different kind of hypnosis, and that's stage hypnosis, and there's all sorts of other stuff around that. So hypnosis is not mind control. I'm not controlling you. You're controlling your own mind. It's not supernatural. It's very natural. It's also not a miracle cure. When I'm working with someone under, we're doing hypnosis together. I'm not fixing them. We do this together, but I'm helping the subconscious mind support the conscious mind. Remember, they have a bit of headbutting. Conscious mind wants to do something. Subconscious mind says, no, we've been doing this forever. So now we're telling the subconscious mind to support the conscious mind. So they're actually working together, but it does require some action, on behalf of the client. Hypnosis is not forcing you to act. As I said, I can't make you do anything that you don't want to do. And it's not an unconscious state. You're very conscious, and it's not being asleep. Hypnosis, the experience is very much like closing your eyes and listening to a meditation, but we get creative with our words, and that's what makes the difference. One of my clients, Bianca, her experience that she found a sense of freedom around her food and body. She was very trapped and in a body that she was not happy with. She found it difficult to move, to walk. She would get exercise-induced asthma, which also prevented her from moving. She wanted to lose weight, and she just found that she was isolating herself. Things weren't happy at work. She didn't like the way that she looked. She didn't want to get out and about. But what we worked with Bianca around her mind, around her food, gave her the confidence to get out and do stuff. And within a couple of weeks, no more asthma. And she now has and she could only walk, it was between 200 and 500 meters, and that would be it. She'd be, wheezing with her asthma. It was only a couple of weeks, and she's, Suzanne, I can walk a whole kilometer. I'm walking 2 kilometers, and at the end, she's got a goal to walk up Mount Brian, which is this huge big mountain. So she walks every day. She takes her dog out every day. And she lost 7.5 kilos and 28.5 centimeters in 6 weeks. And that was continuing at the time that, we talked about. We did a bit of a catch up. Bianca had fantastic results and a lot of education that was helping her to understand what her body was doing, so that she could, not do those things, but also be kinder in her words, and how she viewed herself and how she talked to herself, because any negative mind talk is immediately, like I don't like my body, I don't want to be seen in a photo, I hate this, I hate that. Anything like that is going to also trigger a stress response in your body. Cortisol rise, insulin rise, it's an immediate stress response. So this is all about teaching my clients how to be nice, get rid of the mean girl, because the mean girl is not helping you. It's not going to, you're not going to beat yourself into submission to lose weight, from a mental, emotional perspective. We do have to deal with it on a much kinder, loving level. That's where we get the response that you're looking for in terms of body. So here we go, body, listening to our body and finding ease and joy in the comfort of your own skin. This is a little bit about, we touched on this already, about the second brain and the mind-gut connection. So the gut houses 70% of our immune system. If we're feeding ourselves highly processed dead food, we're not doing ourselves any favor in terms of our immune system, therefore we feel sick. And you were saying earlier, Suzi, when you lost a lot of weight, all your aches and pains and so much started to disappear. And I was talking to my daughter, the same thing. She's going through a very stressful part in her life. She just made the decision to just let go of all the stuff, like the worry. I'm just going to let it go, and I'm going to do what I need to do. And she noticed when she did that, her aches and pains started to disappear, you know, joint pain, foggy brain, you know, menstrual cramps, all those kinds of things, they just stopped. Stress creeped in. She said, oh, and she lost weight. And she said, oh, Mum, you know, this stress thing's coming back and my pains are coming back. So she can see that, you know, by letting go mentally, the pain was let go. Stress comes back, pain comes back. So, you know, there's such a direct correlation between what's going on in your brain affects your total body, not just your digestive system. But gut disorders can lead to emotional disorders like anxiety and depression. And what I find is that, you know, if I'm working with women who are prone to depression or have had depression or are taking medication, these things start to dissipate to the point where they can work with their doctor to change the medication. Or in some cases, they've worked with their doctor, always working with your doctor, they've let go of the medication. As soon as your food changes, your mood changes. So, you know, so much more begins to, you feel lighter and healthier, fitter and freer. When you're eating good food and attending to your second brain, if that makes sense. And this is also where I was saying about how your gut talks to you. You know, we have a gut feeling, we have a gut instinct, we have a gut-wrenching experience. We don't have an elbow feeling, like I said, we don't have a thumb feeling. We're always talking about what is going on in our gut. And so, as I said before, it's so important to really go with your gut, trust it, learn to listen to it. Not only will it tell you when you're full, it will talk to you from, you know, an emotional level, what's going on for you. Another part of our body is getting in touch with our body. I find a lot of women are very disconnected and not embodied. Disconnected from their body, don't want to know what's happening down there, so therefore not focused on looking after it. And embodiment is one of the biggest parts of, you know, another big part. There's all parts of the puzzle that we bring in, but being embodied, being connected with yourself and your body, getting in touch with it literally and metaphorically. So any of the practices, you know, yoga or stretching, gets you in touch with your body. Obviously, physical hands-on massage and acupuncture, which helps to unblock the meridians that can cause other issues in our body. Breathing, simple breathing. In fact, breathing is the antidote to stress. All we need to do is breathe. Dancing in the kitchen, you know, having a Friday night dance off with the kids. Being fully present in the moment. Stop. Get present. Think about what you're doing right now. Don't get caught up in those negative thought loops. Listening to your body and self-care. All parts of the puzzle. So this is where another of my clients, Sandy, she was constantly driven by the messages that her body was giving her, that being hungry, she was always hungry. She could, you know, it was the full focus of her entire existence. That was her biggest challenge. But after 2 weeks, when we talked about, you know, the connection between the mind and body, changing the quality of our food, eating, you know, eating regularly, all of a sudden she didn't feel hungry. She started walking, and in fact that's one of her greatest new loves, whereas before she just felt uncomfortable, she didn't want to walk, she didn't like it, and now she does. So and she started feeling fuller after eating smaller meals. Before she'd load up, and you know, there's lots of conditioning from from childhood too. Eat everything on your plate, you got to eat everything. And that sticks with us. We actually have our 6-year-old still living inside of us, who actually, you know, calls the shots. But we can actually change that. We can go, no. I'm older than a 6-year-old. I can make this change. But because, you know, behavior, we're used to it. It's a habit. It's what we've always done. Sometimes these things are a little bit hard, you know, to recognize. And certainly if you don't have an awareness of it. But now if you have an awareness of the archetype of the child in your body who stamps its foot and says, no, I want this, I want it now, then you can say, actually, I'm the grown-up, I'm the adult, I don't need this now. And practice saying no to those urges. And when you start giving your body what it needs in a different way, it will start to respond, and the weight will start to release. Relax. Okay, so this is around the stress response, and really all of these things, what happens when we're stressed. And this can happen even if we eat fast. This can happen if we get an unhappy phone call. This can happen because a thought creates a thought about an interaction, unpleasant interaction that you had, will create all of this. It doesn't have to be a life-threatening thing. It's very minimal. Sorry, it's very subtle, but it still creates the stress response in the body. So all of these things prevent us from losing weight because the body goes into survival mode. The antidote to stress is relaxation. And of course, it lowers your blood pressure. It increases your serotonin production, of which 95% is produced in the gut. So you want to keep your gut happy by eating good food. So you get the benefit of, the upload of all those feel-good hormones. It decreases your blood sugar level. It enhances your digestion, cell rejuvenation, increased immunity. You're not going to get sick so often. Increases blood flow and oxygen in your body. So by practicing the relaxation and practicing doing things for yourself is always going to override all of these things which are not helping us when it comes to weight loss. Fine in, the dire moment where we actually have to run and escape a saber-toothed tiger or some other danger, that's helpful, but it's not helpful on the long term. As I've mentioned, stress is the biggest blocker to weight loss. So we need to get to the root cause. And the antidote to stress is to just breathe. Just by taking 3 long, deep, slow and gentle belly breaths, like really getting the breath all the way into your belly, doing that slowly, taking 5 breath breaks during the day helps to reduce your stress levels, helps to calm the farm, helps to, manage cortisol and insulin, and helps to clear your mind. So, you can some people set timers on their phone for little breath breaks, which is a great idea. So this is another one of my clients, Renee, totally changed her life. She lost over 9 kilos and 40 centimeters from her body. That was over a 3-month period. We worked over a bit longer period with Renee. But she was, came from a family who, most of her family were had type 2 diabetes. And she was really worried. She had her daughter, a young girl, and she wanted to be a good role model for her daughter. She'd grown up with a family that really were not taught how to eat, and it was always quick fix, easy processed, too much, alcohol, the whole thing. And she wanted to learn a different way so she could be a good role model for her daughter. By the time we finished our work, she had so much more confidence. She left the job that she thought that she had no self-esteem, didn't think that she could be in a job at a higher level. The people that she worked for didn't appreciate, her skills and talents, and she didn't have the confidence to say anything or do anything, didn't think she was worth it. So after our work together, she lost all this weight. She looked amazing. And she had so much more confidence, and she got herself a new job, higher paid, closer to home, everything that she wanted, a higher level, and she was just beaming and oozing with confidence and life. Very different woman to when I first met, and a whole heap of health issues started to resolve themselves for her as well. So self-care, this is all about taking time for daily practices and rituals to sustain a positive mindset. It doesn't happen on its own, unfortunately. But there's so many things that we can do. And why is it important? Because you are important. There's all these things that we can do. Simply going to bed earlier, giving ourselves enough sleep at night, creating a play date with your friend or partner, updating your wardrobe, discovering a new podcast, going to the movies, plant something. It's spring. How good is it to, you know, go to Bunnings and look at all the lovely flowers and veggies and stuff. So that's another part that is really, really helpful. Sorry, Susie, I'm looking at my time. We're going over time. This is another one of my clients who was holding on to so many negative emotions. She was a major carer for her mum who had dementia, and she spent most of her time trying to do what she could for her mum. But there was a point during our work that she decided, well, actually, I'm important too. I need to look after me. And so she did. Huge changes for her. She started to release the weight. She felt lighter emotionally. The negative stuff that she was hanging on to just started to drift off and fade, enabling her body to lose weight. So this is a little scoring chart that I use for my in my workshops on a scale of 1 to 5. If you were to think, well, where am I, you know, around any of these things that I've talked about, make a mental note and go, oh, where would I like to be? If I'm at a 1 with my food, where would I like to be? You might not want to be at 5 because that might be way too outside of the square for you, but you know, make some improvements to put your perception to improve to maybe a 3. This is all about goal setting and, you know, putting some tangible results, something that you can see, and not only measurements, but how you feel in terms of each of these 5 elements of mind-body nutrition. So, yep, here's me. If you need help, you want to get in touch, you can email me at hello@saweightlosshypnosis.com. I will get back to you, and we can organise a free 30-minute chat, and let's see how I can help you. Essentially, that's what I'm here to do. If you can just email me, I'll send you a link. Just PM me, DM me, whatever you feel comfortable doing. But I also wanted to leave this with your clients, this is a free hypnosis audio download. So I've tested it. You just put your phone up there and it will take you to a landing page, and then you'll get a QR codes. Aren't they amazing? So you will get a free weight loss hypnosis audio download, including a blueprint to weight loss success, which covers off the 5 elements or the 5 pillars of mind-body nutrition. And that's it, Susie.
That's amazing, Suzanne. Thank you so, so much. Can we just take that one down?
Yep.
Stop the oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, no, that was amazing. Thank you so much. As I said, you know, going through weight loss is very, very hard if you're doing it on your own, and I think to have someone there to support you, even if it's not so much about weight loss, for some people it might just be about nutrition and, you know, getting their mindset right as far as what they're putting into their body. So they may go, well, you know what, my weight's fine, but, you know, my health isn't.
That's right.
And so, you know, having someone help you go along doing, you know, in that journey, and using tools like hypnotherapy and things like that, I think is it sets you up for a much better success rate, you know, and helps you. You know, it's like anything you want to do. You know, you wouldn't sort of embark on anything without having someone who is an expert in this stuff to help you go along. Because obviously, you know, what do they say? If you want to go fast, go on your own. But if you want to go far, go together. And it's so true. Yeah, yes. You know, and so being able to speak to someone like you in regards to, you know, as I said, whether it is weight loss or whether it's about nutrition, mindset, which will, you know, lead to weight loss if that's one
correct.
Of the goals.
Yes, and the focus becomes
really
your health. Yeah.
Yes.
And when we focus on our health, not weight loss, then other things start to shift. Your body will actually start to respond in the way that you want it to. So that's how, I'm their accountability buddy. I'm their coach, I'm their mentor, I'm their biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
I'm there to help my clients get to where they want to be.
It's great. And that's why when I do, when I started doing inviting people in to be guest presenters in the Business Academy, I wanted to be not just about business. I wanted it to be about our personal life as well, because people say I keep my business and my personal life very separate, and that's fine. But I think with things like this, it carries into your business life. So if you're unhealthy and you're not got the right mindset in your personal life, and if you are carrying more weight than you should be, obviously, as you said, that has stress and impact on your body, stress and impact on your mind, stress and impact on everything. When I look at it, I was 45, 50 kilo over where I should have been, and so I always remember years ago being told that a litre of milk is around a kilo. It weighs about a kilo. I had a hysterectomy years ago.
A litre of water. Yeah.
Right. And they said, and I said, well, when I had my hysterectomy, said that you can't lift anything heavier than a kilo for 6 weeks. And I said, well, how heavy is a kilo? People talk about kilos, but no one really knows how heavy they are. And he said, to me, well, he said, think of a litre of milk. He said, a bottle of milk, litre of milk. He said, that's about a kilo. He said, so don't lift anything heavier than that. So when I look back, I think, I was carrying around 40 to 50 litres of milk with me every day. And, when you think about that and the impact that has on your body and obviously on your mindset and things like that. So to be able to have someone to help you change that mindset, change, your habits, which, can take a certain period of time before your habits will change into a new habit. That's a very stressful and very hard journey.
On your own.
That's right. And so to do it on your own is, so to get to talk and work with someone like you is just absolutely, I think, so much, such a better journey, and makes it a lot more achievable. It's not an easy journey by any standard. So I didn't want to say, well, it makes it easier. I think it makes it more manageable, but it makes it a lot more achievable. And like I said, your success rate is, still got to put in the work. But I think success rate is, is a lot better. Now, Suzanne, you mentioned your weight loss group. Will you put the link for that group in the comments when we finished here today?
Yes.
So that people can go and check that group out if they find that they want to be in because I'm a big believer in communities. I think it's so important being a part of the right community for whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve. So whether that's business, personal, mindset, nutrition, whatever it is, then I think being part of those communities again sets you up for success a lot better. So if you could put that link in, that would be amazing, please.
Yes, will do. Yeah.
And as I said, I put the link for the book that you mentioned. You said that you're really enjoying that book. So Rushing Women's Syndrome, I put that in the comments as well. And I loved what you said about, your client wanting to be a good example and a good role model for her daughter. This is the big thing with kids is, if they don't know what they don't know. And so if we don't show them, it's not, it always used to be a matter of, don't do as I do as I say. But kids mimic. Kids, so whatever they see, that's their normal.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, that's how we learned. Yeah.
That's right. So what my normal was in my household as a child, that was my normal, and I've carried that into being an adult. Into my household, that's my normal. But someone else's household will be a completely different normal to mine, and a completely different normal to yours, and completely different normals to Frank's and, Anastasia's and all that. And so I think creating an environment that is your child's normal. So if it is, no sugar and no whatever, but, lots of veggies, lots of fruit, lots of, that's the child's normal, and that's just what they do. And they'll then carry that into their adult life, which I think is so important in anything we do in our lives. If you want a certain outcome for your child, you want your child to be a good person, then be a good person. If you want your child to be calm and peaceful and kind and respectful and caring, then be that for your child. And if you want your child to learn about good nutrition and good mindset, be that for your child and show that for your
Be
child.
the change you want to see. Isn't that a great saying?
Man in the mirror. That's what I always say. You got to look at the man in the mirror, and you know, it's so true. So I really enjoyed that presentation, Suzanne. Thank you so much for sharing. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you, because obviously you've put a lot of time in learning about mindset, nutrition, and things like that, is you mentioned that, you know, when you found out that you had cancer. I remember watching something quite a while ago about cancer in our body feeds off the acidity in our body. And if we can get our body to a completely neutral alkalinity, I think is the word, a completely neutral alkaline level, it actually stops cancer in its tracks. And I just wondered if you had come across any research or any teachings of that was sort of conducive with that way of thinking.
Yes, I have. And I suppose what I do, well, I have an alkaline water system here at home.
Yeah.
And so I drink alkaline water. And I know obviously alcohol, which is very acidic, is you know, in terms of cancer and breast cancer, is not a good idea.
Yeah.
So I suppose you know, I haven't delved too deeply into it, other than the fact that I just focus on a balanced health. You know, I just focus on making sure I move my body in ways that I love. I'm looking at, you know, what I'm eating, you know, do I have all the right components? Am I eating good quality food?
Yes.
Am I looking after my mental health? And, you know, just my well-being, doing my, you know, practices and rituals, which is for me is walking, exercising, because that's just part of what I love to do. But that's, I guess that's what's important. It's looking at your life and going, okay, well, what do I love to do, and how can I do more of that? Yeah,
what's going to fit in with my lifestyle, and something that I'm going to continue to do, not just do for a month or 2 months, but continue to do, you know, long term.
Got to be sustainable.
That's right. Going to the gym or going jogging for 10 kilometers might not be sustainable for some, but it might be sustainable for others. So you know, you have to find what's good for you. Suzanne, thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I really did. I got so much out of it. And as I hope you'll stay in the group with us for a couple of weeks and connect with some of the people. And I know that you have another appointment that you've got to shoot off to. So thank you very much for sharing. Please make sure you put those links in the comments for us, for your group. And I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed it too, Susie.
And thanks everyone.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you. And please, if you have questions for Suzanne, make sure you put them in those comments and tag Suzanne,
please.
And she'll connect with you and be able to answer those. So thanks, guys. Have a fantastic day, and she'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.
Okay. Thanks, Susie. Bye.